Everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Osereme, and in today's video we are going to be sewing this beautiful blouse. In one of my last videos I shared with you guys how to go about the pattern drafting. I think I uploaded that about a week ago, so this is the thumbnail for that particular pattern drafting video, just in case you're yet to see it. So go ahead and see the pattern drafting video and then come over to this video and let us sew it together. So guys, from the last video we drafted all of these patterns and went ahead to cut them out. Stitching allowances were added to all the patterns from the last video. So basically what I did was to add half an inch stitching allowance all the way around the pattern paper. So now these are the two front pieces, the center front and the side front. I've also gone ahead to cut out lining pieces for each of the pieces that I cut out. So you need to cut out lining as well. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is to first of all work on the front pieces. So I'm going to remove the pattern papers and arrange all the front pieces together. So this is it. These are the front pieces. So I'll open up the center front. This is what yours should look like, and then the other side of the front, I'll bring it to this other side. So it's going to look like this. So one thing I want to do is I want to iron stay to the wrong side of this to just give the front part of this pattern, the front part of the dress, some kind of strength. So I'm going to iron stay to the wrong side of these patterns. So I'm done ironing the stay and this is what it looks like. So next thing I want to do now is to join these pieces together. So I'll bring the center front piece like this and I'm going to turn this side to face it right sides facing each other. We are going to start aligning it from the waist. So I've aligned it from the waist and everything is standing straight from the waist. So I'll now pin towards the up. So as you pin upwards, you're going to make sure that you are following the curve. So just like you see me doing like this, follow the curve like this as you pin upward like this. So make sure that you are arranging it properly. So just follow the curve and then do it until you get to the end. This is a princess dart bustier. So for those of you who are wondering, if you've not seen the pattern drafting tutorial, you will really not understand what I'm doing here. So I'm done pinning down the bustier area so you can see what it's looking like so far. It's actually looking nice, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish pinning down this bottom part as well. Till I get up. So now I am done pinning everything down on this side, and you know that whatever you do on one side you have to repeat on the other side. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on this other side as well. So make sure to start from the waist, make sure it's aligned on the waist and then pin it upward. Make sure to start from the waist, don't start from the top. So when you're done pinning down both sides, you're just basically going to stitch it down with about ½ inch of stitching allowance on both sides. So after I was done, this is what it looks like. I have gone ahead to iron my seams open. So now the next thing I want to do is at this end, you notice that it's too pointed on the areas where we had our stitch. So basically all you have to do is to just cut away from it so that it is curved, just like you see me doing like this. It's supposed to look like a flare and not have like points. So this is what it should look like. So I'm done with this front pattern. I'm going to do the exact same thing for the lining for the front as well. Now for the back pieces, we have to join the back pieces back together. Remember that we had to have an opening on the dart area of the back because we are making a 6 pieces blouse. Normally you are just going to have 2 pieces for your back, but this one now I have 4. So I have to join them together back to be able to give me 2 pieces. So now I'm going to pick the center back pieces and then the side back pieces. So this is one center back and one side. So I remove this other one and bring it to this other side here. So I'm going to be stitching them two together. So these two will be stitched together. I'm placing them right sides facing each other, starting from the waist, and I'm going to pin it all the way towards the top. So make sure whatever it is you're pinning down, you're starting from the waist so that you don't make a mistake. If you start from the top, by the time you get to the waist, it might no longer align. But if you start from the waist and take it over to the top, chances are it's going to remain the same thing that you had, which is exactly what I have here. Now from the waist, you can now pin down towards the opening that we have for our flare. The only reason we opened up the back into two was because we wanted to get this flare pin at the bottom because it's a six pieces blouse. So please do not forget that part, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and stitch down this area that I've pinned down to now make this a one piece for the back. I will do the exact same thing for this other part as well. So place them together right sides facing each other and go ahead and pin them down, making sure to start from the waist. So guys, this is it. I'm going to just stitch this area down and do the same thing for the other side as well. So after I was done stitching it down, this is what it looks like. You can see I still had this point at this end. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim it to look like a curve like this. It's actually very simple. And then you have it looking like a flare. So I did the same thing for the other piece of the back as well. And now we have our two back pieces. Now we're going to join the actual fabric and the lining pieces together. Everything I did on the actual fabric, I did on the lining. Even the curved area that were looking pointed, I went ahead to trim them off as well on the lining because what you do on the lining is what you also repeat on the actual fabric. So now I'm putting my actual fabrics together, right sides facing each other. I'm arranging all the sides. You'll notice that the side is also very pointed. So I am going to arrange both the front and the back together, arranging the side area, and I'm just going to curve this in a little bit to remove this excess point. So go ahead and do the same thing. So I will also repeat the same process of my lining. This is going to prevent the side from having a very weird point when we are done with everything. So whatever I did on the actual fabric, I repeated on the lining as well. So I've cut it out as you can see. If you're not sure you're going to be able to do this with free hand, you can please go ahead and measure before you cut it out. So now I'm going to place my actual fabric and lining together, right sides facing each other, and I'm pinning around the neckline. So I'm going to stitch down the neckline, and then next place I'm going to be stitching down after the neckline is the bottom of the dress. But I want to add a crinoline to the bottom of the dress so that it will give it that nice wavy look. So while stitching the bottom, I'm going to add a layer of crinoline and then a layer of stay. And then I will top stitch towards the lining. So I'll arrange everything like this and stitch it down and then make a top stitch towards the lining before I would then join the sides together. So I'm done stitching down the bottom part. You can see what it looks like. So now I'm going to go ahead and just join the side here and here. And after I was done, I turned everything over to the right side, ironed it out. And you can see how nicely it's looking. So you can see how wavy the flare area is looking. Now for the back pieces, I'm going to do exactly the same thing I did on the front, but the back is two pieces because we have a zipper allowance at the middle. So I have gone ahead to place them right sides facing each other, and I am pinning around the neckline. And then for the bottom, just like I did on the blouse on the front, I'm going to place the crinoline and then the layer of hemcom as well. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch it down just like I did on the front piece. So I'll stitch this all the way around the bottom and then go ahead and stitch down the sides. So after I was done stitching down the back pieces, this is what it looks like. Okay, so this is the two of them. So I'm going to place them right sides facing each other like this, and I'm going to go ahead and pin it down at the bottom a little bit. So I don't want my zipper to be the type that open up into two. So I'm going to just make a tiny stitch here about 1 inch long, and then I'm going to fix my zipper on the other opening. So my stitch will be just somewhere about 1 inch long, and then I'll fix the remaining zipper. I will definitely have to cut off the excess zipper that I'm going to have there. After I was done stitching my little opening and fixing my zipper, this is what it looks like, and you can see how neat it looks like on the wrong side. So now we're going to place the front and the back pieces together, right sides facing each other. I'm going to be joining them on the shoulders. So to do this, I'm putting together fabric to fabric, lining to lining. If you do not understand this method, you can go ahead and just join the shoulders with whichever way you know how to do it. So I'm pinning down the lining to lining, fabric to fabric, and I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and just make a straight stitch to join this area together. So guys, I'm done joining the shoulders as you can see. So now one thing I want to do is you will notice that the shoulder on the dress you're trying to create is actually like a very slim one, but I'm not a huge fan of it. So what I'll just do is go in by just 1 inch on both sides. Now if you want it to actually look very slim, you can go in by 2 inches on both sides of the shoulder, and then cut it out from there. That way the shoulder area is going to look slim. So just cut it into the rest of the armhole. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on this other side as well. Just go in by whatever inches you want to reduce your shoulder by, and then connect it into the rest of the armhole. So once that is done, I'm going to go ahead and cut out a facing to secure the rough side of my armhole. So I just cut out a straight piece of fabric here and I folded one edge. So what I'm doing is, because the armhole is curved, I have to make a bit of pleats, just like 2 or 3 pleats on the area where I have curved, so that it will not the facing will not be shorter than the armhole. If you don't make pleats, it's going to be shorter. Now on this other area, I can just go straight, but when I get here, I'll make pleats as well a little bit to make sure that it doesn't become shorter, and I'll finish it and turn it over to the right side. So guys, after I was done stitching down the facing, this is what it looks like. So all you have to do is to now hem the facing to the lining and it should look neat on the right side. So the last part of the making of this dress is just to go ahead and join the sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin down the sides, and I will go over to the sewing machine and just stitch it down using my body measurements. I don't wanna waste what's left. So guys, I'm just going to stitch down this area here and this other side as well. So guys, this is what it looks like. You can see everything looking nice. This is the bustier area. I did pad this because I can easily wear a bra on this. It's a blouse that you can actually wear a bra, so you don't really need to bother yourself with padding. So yeah, that's all for the making of this dress. Thank you for watching.